what's the relationship with the ISL, USA Swimming and the ISL? Swimming has moved into kind of a professional ranking and realm now. Why is there no real association with USA Swimming and the ISL in that respect?
We've met them with several times before it even started. I had a chance to meet everybody. It was great. We're very supportive of the concept, and we've been supportive of our athletes since day one. And even back when there was a little bit of controversy at the very beginning, we said we would never sanction our athletes. They have every right to go do this and pursue their dreams on a professional level. So we think it's great. We have helped them at the startup side with some operational and some medical things at the very beginning. Mike was instrumental in that, so we were certainly there. But at the end of the day, we have our Olympic team and our national team. But really, as a 501c3 nonprofit, we are a youth-serving sport organization for the United States of America, right? So professional swimming is not within our remit. It's not something we're ever going to take over. So we're here to be supportive to our athletes, which our focus is on our athletes. Our focus is on our national team. Our focus is giving them every opportunity to compete everywhere they can. So we're happy for them. But again, our job is, again, at the time of those 350,000 athletes, the majority are under 18 years old, right? Some are in college. So the pro ranks is really not part of our remit or our focus. So we wish them well. We're going to give them everything they can to be supportive out of the national team division. But ultimately, that's not part of USA Swimming.
That's interesting. I don't know where to go with that in terms of the questioning. But, one of the struggles that I had as a college coach was, I was responsible for the college team. I was paid, by the college. But then I had a situation where it was obviously there was a need for athletes to prolong their careers and a want to kind of represent their countries or whatever it was. But there was no real basis for them. Like it was almost like there's this gap between a safe place to train where you can get quality coaching and all the attention's on you. And then as soon as you leave college, there's nothing for you in terms of any type of real support. And this isn't a criticism of you. I'm just trying to figure out, where do we go in the future with pro athletes? So obviously, the swimmer's age is extending now. You had Anthony Irvin in 2016 win at 35 years old, but there's no real place for pro athletes to go within USA Swimming structure. It's like you're stuck in this college system, which isn't ideal because you kind of there, but you're not really welcome in a sense. Obviously they are, but. So you know what I'm saying? Is like,
sure.
I mean, you've worked in professional soccer, so it's like, how do we professionalize swimming within the U.S.? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. And again, I'll be honest, it's going to be difficult, right? When you look at the landscape of professional sports, I go back to where we were in Major League Soccer for several years, and it struggled mightily before they got a CBA and $4 billion owners came to the plate, right? And from a nonprofit perspective, we're not going to be $1 billion owner. So what we've tried to do over time, and I certainly support what Mike and Lindsay and the team have done with our Tier Pro series, where we've increased purses pre-COVID, obviously, for our series to try to keep those swimmers in the water doing things. But if you take the soccer analogy, which I think is a good one, Brett, the reality is if I was U.S. Soccer, right, which I had my national team, these are all professional athletes because they're all coming from professional clubs. So when they're called into action for the U.S. soccer team, they have a calendar around the world. We all know what the global calendar is for U.S. soccer, right? We all know it. MLS is a little bit different. Australia is a little bit different because of the seasonality. But the reality is the majority of the world's game is August to May. And then they create, windows of opportunity that we all have to respect for when the international friendlies or the international opportunities come together, right? So in the fall, you're going to have a weekend in September, October, and November that all the best athletes, if they get called back to their teams at the highest level of soccer, are allowed to go back and join their national team and be patriotic and go compete for those opportunities, right? But then they come back to their club. So technically, they're always going to be the club's property, and then they're loaned back to the national team, right? In our circumstance, in our country, again, when we're talking from under 10s to college age or beyond, when they're on the national team of USA Swimming, they are on a monthly stipend. We cover all their health benefits, and we continue to find ways to invest in their lifestyle so they can live and support themselves, which is also part of the foundation, mind you. We try to work on those opportunities to obviously continue to increase our budgets there. We're not an organization or a country that has government support whatsoever. So we have to go to the USOPC to find as much funding as possible just to pay for the international opportunities we provide to our swimmers. The good news is, as an example, this coming week in Abu Dhabi, we'll have 14 men and 14 women that we pay all the expenses for to get them there safely and to train and to take care of them, bring medical staff, training staff, coaching staffs, and they have a chance to win a significant amount of money this week in Abu Dhabi. I'll give you an example. Back in 2018, which was the first year that FINA really increased the short course world's monies, our team left with $478,000. And again, we paid for every expense to get there. We kept them safe. We fed them well, put them in a great hotel, made sure they were safe everywhere they go so they could create opportunities to win on an international scale. We're going to continue to do that as much as we possibly can. Find international opportunities, take care of them here domestically as much as we can, find new opportunities to help them. But when it comes to their professional careers, that's really up to them and their agents and the people they work with to determine what they'd like to do next. To your case, but you make a great point about kind of the fall off afterwards, where we need to get better, in my opinion, and we're starting to work on this. And this new governance change now that was dictated by the United States federal government, where we have to have 33 1/3% athlete representation on all of our governance boards. So from our board of directors to all of our committees, et cetera, is great for USA Swimming, right? We have these tremendous athletes, world-class athletes now that have the biggest voice they've ever had in the direction of USA Swimming and where they want us to take it and where they want us to support them. Right. Again, as a nonprofit, we're dollar in, dollar out. Every dollar that comes into us goes right back into programmatic services or to our national team, point blank. And that's up on our 990s. That's a transparent chance for people can jump on our website and see how the money gets moved around. I think where the biggest opportunity now is how do we help those athletes that don't want to be pros? Because I've met with a whole bunch of 10-year plus athletes, Olympic gold medalists, that have told me to my face that they're not sure that swimming was a net positive or negative in their life. And that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking to hear, right? So we need to find ways that maybe it's career development, maybe it's mentorship opportunities, maybe it is professional swimming. So we're very supportive of it. You know, we want all of our athletes to be successful. I had a chance to run into a whole bunch of golden goggles, obviously, and talk to Ryan Murphys of the world that came back and had a great time in ISL. So we want them to be successful. But at the same time, our focus is, the national team roster, and then eventually, obviously, supporting them for their Olympic dreams.